tell us what they are and what one can do with a Corbyn Jug.
So I started the Corbyn Jug project when I realised my university debt was going to be about £55,000. And what better way to pay off your university debt with the man representing it to the whole country? And what the jug represents for me and why it's resonated with so many people and why we've sold so many so far is because Jeremy Corbyn has inspired a generation and a nation. So they're made in Stoke.
How many of them have they sold? That's quite a remarkable
We've sold
thing.
200 so far. We've had orders in America and Europe. So obviously Toby Jugs and Jeremy Corbyn has a global appeal.
Does it work as a jug? I mean, because I can see that you would put the liquid in here. Does it come out his nose? I mean can you pour it as a jug?
You could use it as that, but it's more like a home decor item. You would have it on, like, I don't know, a cabinet or something.
And what's this red thing coming out of his ear?
So that is the red flag, and obviously being part of the Labour Party, we hold the red flag up. So that's the red flag. Although on Twitter people were making very funny jokes about that from all political sides, so it's definitely a talking point.
And do you think Jeremy Corbyn would approve of this little capitalist enterprise you've set up here?
I don't think it's capitalist because I'm donating to the Jo Cox Foundation 5% of profits. And Jo Cox was an incredible woman. What she stood for and what she stands for is amazing in a liberal democracy: tolerance, equality and freedom. And I'm doing it to... And also Labour supports business. Like, we support going in and making money in a fair way, and that's what I'm doing.
So tell us about what kind of Tory merchandise we'll be able to see in Manchester this year.
Yes, well, firstly, I find it rather ironic that there's a socialist element of merchandise which doesn't actually work. But anyway, here we have one of our T-shirts that's on offer.
What does it say across the top?
It says, I'll try to pronounce this, Floxy Noxy Nilly Hilipification.
Which means?
It means to... You know, I'm not entirely sure, actually. It's become
but it's the word that Jacob Rees-Mogg used in Parliament.
Yeah.
What was it? The longest word that had ever been used in the House of Commons?
It's the longest word in Hansard, yes. I think the longest word in the House of Commons is slightly different, but it's the longest word on Hansard, yes.
And with the picture of Jacob Rees-Mogg, you expect him to be a big seller in Manchester, do you?
Quite possibly, yeah. We've had a very good month so far, and with the Tory conference coming up, we expect to see a few more sales here and there.
And so is it Mogg merchandise that you're concentrating on? I mean, we were talking about a poll earlier among the Tory grassroots saying that their preference for a new leader, if there was to be one, would be Boris Johnson, followed by Ruth Davidson, followed by Jacob Rees-Mogg. So maybe you make a bit more money with some Ruth Davidson or Boris Johnson merchandise.
Quite possibly, actually, yeah. The theme of the store is conservative, primarily. But what we've found, really, is the hype around Jacob Rees-Mogg has enabled us to sell a few more items directly relating to him. So they're our most successful items, really. So. And
do you think, is it an indicator of people's popularity within the party, how much you're selling of merchandise related to different politicians?
Well, I think it's rather interesting, actually. When we first established our store, back almost a year ago now, I was rather sceptical about the initiative as to whether we would sell, whether we would even, break even. But yet, a year later, we're making a healthy profit and we're still here. So I think that almost serves perhaps as a metaphor for the wider, quieter support that Jacob Rees-Mogg might have, I think.
Could I just make a comment quickly, because you had a little dig at the socialist thing. I think it's wrong that you're using Jacob Rees-Mogg, who's sexist and homophobic, and you're trivialising that through your product. So that's my little dig at you as well.
How would you respond to that?
I think that's entirely overblown. Actually, I think his socially conservative views in some areas have been really a storm in the teacup. He has far more wider ideas relating to the free market and national sovereignty that pale in comparison.
Rachel, did you come back from Brighton with any Labour merchandise?
I don't, but I now can't focus on anything other than how I'm going to nab one of those jugs, because I think they're brilliant.
They're not cheap.
www.corbynjug.co.uk.
But they're quite expensive.
Advertising on the BBC. Dear.
Political merchandise, a new coming thing in UK politics. The Americans have had hilarious merchandise based around their politicians for years and years. I've got a set of Hillary nutcrackers at home, which is a deeply misogynistic, I'm sure, but she managed to start wearing it as a badge of pride when I thought it was okay probably to purchase one. Are you tempted by any of this?
Well, I'm looking at these two jugs. They've both got holes in the head. Jeremy's got a hole in his head, which from this angle looks like a halo. I'm not quite sure whether that's meant to be deliberate. He's also wearing a very smart suit and tie, and this just isn't Jeremy Corbyn.
Yes, his mother would be proud.